What is good, Ninja? OG over here from PlayerEssence, and welcome to their PE rant video that I have here for you guys. So if you're new to these rant videos that I do, I'm not actually yelling or screaming or anything like that. At least for this one, I'm not going to be, but it's going to be, let's say, a series of words volleyed towards Bandai Namco, telling them to stop doing what they're doing recently. And for those who don't know or who aren't in the fill, as far as what you see in the title here, recently, I guess the Bandai Namco US manager or something like that told Nintendo Switch fans to let Slightly Mad Studios, Andy Tudor, and those guys know if you want a Nintendo Switch version, tweet out the game, tweet out to them, tweet out to Slightly Mad Studios in order to get Project Cars 2 on the Nintendo Switch. And it's funny that they're telling us with this game, and they've been doing this multiple times, alright? They've done this with Dragon Ball FighterZ, they've done this with Sword Art Online Fatal Bullet, and now they're doing this again with Bandai Namco, telling us that we need to port beg, we need to beg or tweet or basically market their game for them in order to get a Nintendo Switch version or something like that. So to that, I've already given my opinion. It's a no, and it's another no on all of those games. I will not be port begging for a Japanese company to bring over games to a Japanese system that is currently surging and leading sales on a week-to-week basis. Absolutely not. But let's get into this game here specifically about Project Cars 2, because this game is an American game published by a Japanese developer, so it doesn't necessarily fit the rules that I talked about before. Although I won't be port begging at all, you guys can do whatever you want. But I want to talk about this game here because this game is very interesting, that they have the goal, they have the nerve to tell Nintendo fans to ask for this. When we did this before, this is like deja vu. We asked for this Project Cars 1 on the Wii U, and they made it seem, as far as Slightly Mad Studios, Andy Tudor, they made it seem as if this game was coming over. It got picked up by Bandai Namco for publishing, and where were you at, Bandai Namco, when Slightly Mad Studios did not want to bring it over? Did you guys put the money in order to make a Wii U version? No. You rolled with PS4, Xbox One, and PC. On top of that, the studio lead, Andy Tudor, or Slightly Mad Studios, they completely lied to Nintendo fans about the Wii U version of Project Cars 1. So let's get into this interview that Sean Long over there at Nintendo Enthusiast, good friend of the show, he did this interview with him about 3 years ago about Project Cars 1 coming to the Wii U, and here's what he had to say. Here is the first question. The Wii U version is the most intriguing because of the hardware differences between it and PS4/Xbox One. Visually speaking, how well do you think the Wii U version will retain the experience? Here's what Andy Tudor had to say. Quote, I literally just had a blast racing around one of our tracks in the rain, the most graphically intense weather setting, and it held up pretty damn well. Of course, there are some optimizations still need to be done, but side by side, the Wii U version we have running in the studio is extremely promising. And here's the next question posed from Sean Long. Why choose the Wii U to release the game while many other third-party developers skip it and strictly develop for Sony and Microsoft? Here's a quote from Andy Tudor. We don't comment on other people's decisions. There are no realistic, authentic racing games on the Wii U currently, yet the way you interact with games on the Wii U has lots of possibilities when considering touch and gyroscope motion, so both things combined made our decision easy. Made your decision easy, huh? You had a blast racing through the game, huh? Yeah, none of those came to fruition, as they later completely backtracked and said, oh, well, it's not performing up to our standards and all of this stuff, and it can't fit the Project Cars experience. Why did you just sit here and lie about everything? And now after that, okay, and the game releases, and it's not even that great of a game, to be honest. It's okay. It's an average racing game, in my opinion. It's not even that great. They're going to sit here. They have the goal to tell us to sit here and port beg for this game when you didn't even deliver on what you said with Project Cars 1 on the Wii U? No. How desperate do you think that we are? How silly does Bandai Namco think that we are? Listen, Bandai Namco, this is something to your PR department. You guys can retweet this video to Bandai Namco. I'm going to sit here and say it right now. Bandai Namco, you're not that great. You are not that great in order to tell people to beg for your games. To beg for them. It's not that big of a deal. Yes, Bandai Namco, I'm enjoying Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 on the Nintendo Switch. I enjoy you guys' games, but you can't sit here and make Nintendo fans sit here, beg and grovel. Well, if fans ask for Sword Art Online Fatal Bullet, if fans ask for Dragon Ball FighterZ, if fans ask for this. Now, like I said, I'm pretty sure a lot of this is a PR move. And the reason why I say this is because either they're lying or they're using this to hype up their games. Because just a little bit ago, to investors, Bandai Namco said that they're going to be announcing game after game after game for the Nintendo Switch. And since that point, I think they've announced one game for Japan only, and it was like a mini game collection, and it was a port of like a Wii U game. So unless you're lying to your investors, or you're trying to play us as hype up your game for you, or hype up those versions PS4, Xbox One, then eventually it comes to Switch, or whatever the case is, there's one or the other. You guys are either lying about what you said to your investors about announcing game after game after game, because all you've announced since then is one game, alright? Or you're using this as far as social media to hype up PS4 and Xbox One games, and then eventually you're going to bring those games over to Switch, whatever the case is. I'm not down with either one of these, okay? You guys already said you'll be announcing game after game after game for the Nintendo Switch. Stick to your word as far as what you guys said to your investors, okay? And we will buy your games. But sitting here and asking us to market and port beg for your games is not the right way to go about it, and it's not going to lead to better sales. Listen, this is not the Wii U. Maybe you guys think it is with Nintendo fans. We're not that far away from the Wii U, right? Switch is pretty new, came out this year. Maybe you think that that was a good idea last generation, or that was a good idea beforehand. But in today's day, right now, with the Switch, as far as many games that it's getting, people are completely fine with buying Stardew Valley. People will buy indie games and have fun with those, and we can give our money to those indie developers to where we don't have to port beg and ask and port beg for a game. We will give the money to LA Noire. We will give the money to other developers who decide to. We'll give our money to Doom, to Wolfenstein. We'll give the money there, okay? We'll give the money to the new Fear Effect games that were announced just recently. We'll give our money there. That's what I'm seeing, at least. You've already seen what happened with the Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 sales. I don't think we need to prove anything else. You saw what happened with Pokken. There's no more need to prove. Either you bring the game out on there or you don't. None of this fake marketing, none of this fake publicity for other versions of the game, and then eventually you're going to bring the game out, we'll hype it then. Just announce the game, or just say that you have plans to bring it out. And it's gotten to the point with Bandai Namco is that if they ask us to port beg for a certain game, not only will I not port beg for the game, I will also not buy the game until you bring out a Nintendo Switch version. So beforehand, if a game's not coming to Switch, I'd be like, okay, if I like it, I'll buy it on PS4 and Xbox One. But if you ask us to port beg for a game on Nintendo Switch, I will no longer buy the game at all until it comes to Nintendo Switch, whether a lot of people port begged or not. You have to put the game out on there or it's not getting a purchase at all. So if I were you, Bandai Namco, I would please reconsider how you go about talking to Nintendo Switch fans and Nintendo fans in general, because so far you guys are not doing really good. We've gotten 3 different titles that you guys have announced for PS4, Xbox One, PC, and you've asked us to port beg for all 3 titles. And I don't want to do that, and I'm not going to do that, and I think that that's a stupid thing to do when it comes to Nintendo Switch. It's selling. You guys should want to be excited to take advantage of the fan base as far as getting sales. You should want that to happen. You should want to publish on there. Mr. T had a great video as well. You guys should all go watch that too. I think he makes some really good points. But at this point, we have the power, guys. And I said this in one of my last videos. We have the power. Switch isn't Wii U. Switch is selling. It's doing well. Indie developers are making a killing. Stardew Valley shot up to #1. If you don't want to put your games on there, there's going to be some other indie developers and there's going to be other publishers who do, and they will get the money. Bethesda will get the money. Other developers will get the money, and you guys won't. So here's the thing. Although I still feel it's a marketing ploy, because they did tell their investors that they'll be announcing game after game after game, even though they've only announced 1 game so far. Afterwards, I still feel that there's more games coming, and it's a marketing ploy, but we'll see. We'll see as far as what's right and what's wrong here. But Bandai Namco, you need to seriously think about how you guys go about as far as the Nintendo Switch goes. All right, think about it, because what you guys are doing right now is not helping, and it's not going to get people to buy your games, and ultimately it might hurt your sales overall if Nintendo fans feel slighted and then they don't buy the game on PS4 or Xbox One if you decide not to make a Switch version, because that's kind of what I'm doing here. Beforehand, I was willing to buy some of those games on PS4 and Xbox One or PC if there wasn't a Switch version, but now since you're going this route, you better bring a Switch version or you're not getting my money at all. Plain and simple. So that's kind of how I'm doing it. I'm taking a principle stance, guys. Not because, oh, it needs to be on Switch, whatever, you know, I'm so angry. It's more of a principle thing, Bandai Namco, okay? There's a lot of games out there. Everyone has limited time. Nobody has infinite time to play games. And as consumers, you should want our money, okay? We shouldn't have to port back, give you guys money. So that's my stance on the whole thing. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below as far as what you guys feel about what Bandai Namco is doing here. All right, Ninja, that wraps it up for this video here. Go ahead and check out the links in the description below. We've got Facebook, we've got Twitter. Go ahead and give us a like and a follow on our social media. Also, make sure you check out our Patreon page, pledge any tier, be entered in to win some awesome prizes. Plus, we have Discord voice chat and prize eShop tournaments. Also, make sure you check out our new live streaming gaming page on YouTube Gaming. Consider sponsoring PlayerEssence. It works very much like Twitch, where you can earn emotes and awesome prizes. Also, get on my friends list in order to participate in tournaments and more. So check out the page, link in the description below, and consider sponsoring PlayerEssence. Also, make sure you hit that like button if you did like this video. Lets me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future, and subscribe to PlayerEssence for the latest news, reviews, discussions, and more. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you, Ninja, for the next video. Peace.